of this job. You're making big money. You're going to have good temple. It's dang, you're feeding me knowledge right now.
Knowledge. This is how I got this in.
Well, that's a weird thing because I'm not actually using any collision to detect this. I literally, well, it looked like it hit the top and here before, and then it gets that. Right. And I was handling that. It's literally just like, literally just, if it's above, it's probably, I could walk up the door, you know, turn around, it's about, oh, yeah, it's on the bottom. Oh, yes. I was like, it's gonna happen.
A lot more people.
Were you guys supposed to? Were you guys supposed to?
Maybe website.
It's a place called Star where we did it, but Elliot spent a ton of time working on it. Really, after Brandon and right now it's you the additional these colors like you say like went over it all. So it's a group effort. So that's cool. Yeah, so it's resistant ball position and velocity here, and it's combined with velocity. And if you look, out of curiosity, who here is disabled? Like this is their first goal velocity. Like whenever. Like, right. Even though it's not very often rigid body, it's still retained. Okay, so you never no. So it's not. That's why. That's why I think it's the way the original book.
That seems very.
I guess like good to the area.
What up, dude?
I guess it's boy.
Yeah. Well, it does. It also, you know, all this. Because it should be taking this flow here.
All right, yeah.
Then link it to the velocity, and so yeah, we originally had here was release for the velocity, and I just passed it with labor. And I was like, that shouldn't work. So the only thing I could think of is that, yeah.
So you're in the group, you talk a lot, I mean, not like, you're active.
Yeah.
Well, more than, some people are like, hey man, I've been in here for 6 years, you can say hi, man.
I feel called out a little bit.
No, there's people that have been on like the meetups and stuff for over.
There's someone that was. Look at it here.
It's really. There's a need. I guess, yeah, because what I'm guessing is it's so on trigger. This out here, this is actually totally different. But I guess he had that on trigger.
And then Richard was in charge of it, which the on is still finished trigger.
Okay, what's your name?
Daniel
Jackson. Yeah, I was gonna question you about the Stargate.
Oh, that is my real name. So I had never watched it, and then when I was in college, I'd go on comic source and stuff like that. It would be like, hey, good luck on your quest. It's not like that. Like they were talking about. I just thought it was nerd speak. What you should say if you're a comic book show. And then there's like, no, that was totally a reference to Stargate.
Have you ever seen it? And even the movies or the show?
I have seen the movie. I finally watched the movie. Okay, there was a movie. The show was awesome.
Stargate History one. It's
so good.
I like it a lot better than sci-fi.
So you know, Grey Out, that's it's a lost name now. Yeah, maybe so.
If you're bored, it's worth watching.
I'll take it. I know there's Atlantis. You can skip it.
You would, it would be nice to watch it if they finished it.
It was almost decent.
It was getting,
Yes. And then
Because-
they canceled.
yeah.
That's started already.
Yeah, so definitely that's out. Now, of course,
In the Discord, we're actually doing a mascot challenge to figure out what the mascot is going to be. So all of you artists, you have until the end, most of December, to put in whatever your weekend is to submit.
So when you do that, just.
Week-long poll, so everyone's going to be able to.
I just actually.
Oh, I didn't see it. It's only 24 hours. It'll be a week-long.
Yes. Slap button. That's it.
Something else like, so they get really.
Oh.
Come up with something.
Sweet. Okay.
So then come back to that. All good. You'll have a cheap. That's what I'm gonna do.
You videotaping them?
I didn't have white. Turn it, follows, we'll sell all that stuff up. So it's really just about computers, like cool language.
Oh, no, it's not. It's a-
Wait,
I mean,
After the meeting, he talked to me, but he said he was gonna do something with you. He's awesome. Yeah. Would I be able to borrow the web? Yeah, eventually.
What's
Huh?
What's proof?
We're recording.
Oh, you're stuck. Yeah. Yeah, he was hilarious. Yeah, in the last time I saw him, like, I need the video.
Yeah, yeah, really good luck. It's gotta hit you somewhere. Better there than while you're driving.
Good girl, you have blind ad photos. Yes.
I don't know. I have surprising.
Now I'm gonna be like, where's the red? Like, I'm down. Dude,
Second turn.
Final.
All right, guys.
All right, guys, so the next thing, we have Global Game Jam. Does anyone know what Global Game Jam is?
Nope.
All right, years ago, a bunch of people in a very cold place said, hey, we're about to get snowed in. Let's all bring our computers into, I think it was a high school, and we are going to build a game while we're snowed in. And then other people started doing it even though it wasn't snowing, and thus started Global Game Jam. That is the Cliff Notes version. So at a rival location, TU, in January, they will be hosting a game jam site. You can go there, it'll start on a Friday, and it'll end on a Sunday. I recommend going there in person, do not do remote. You can do a remote game jam, that's really cool, but it's way more fun to go there and find people and just have fun. And if you suck at something, that's even better, because then you feel like, hey, I'm not good at this, and you'll find other people that are, or it turns out you're really good at it, and you're pushing yourself down a whole bunch, and now you can get on a high horse for a little bit.
Right.
Like there's lots of little roller coasters of emotions that happen during the game.
What is Global Game Jam?
It is the second last weekend of January. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they said they're doing it for 5 days. It's remote, but TU site as of right now will be, whatever that Friday is for that. But, well, you can figure out teams ahead of time and stuff like that. For years, Elliot and I have been discussing doing a full motion video. Does anyone know what that is, or an FMV game? So we're doing an FMV game in Game Maker. We've done tests, so we'll be able to show people what the workflow is. But whatever the prompt is, then we will say, okay, we're doing this off. Look at this guy. And so that's the team I'm on, but that normally we don't do that sort of stuff. We've just been talking about it for years. We're like, there's other manpower in the sequence.
Is that like, there was that one horror game, that was fully like live action, like stuff in it, where.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Night Stalker, Nightcrawler.
Oh. No, but there was a newer one even, but.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so probably Her Story is an amazing one that's come out recently, where you're interviewing a girl and you're a police officer, and you can only ask certain questions and only if she gets certain clues. That one was really good.
Yeah, the one I was thinking of was you were this lady who was like, traveling with her friend. You had to stay a night at this hotel, and the guy who owns the hotel is like kind of crazy. And so, yes, Dead of Night.
Yes. Night Trap. Night Trap was the game I was thinking.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. You saying Dead of Night made me realize. Yes.
Was the one that got me into that kind of thing. That's sweet. So you guys are gonna be making.
Well, we don't know if it's gonna be order, but
Yeah, you're gonna be making.
we did the test run where we got a video, and then if you do one video file, it's like that's the golden path and the game runs fine. But as soon as you die or whatever, then it needs to open a level and play a different video. So that's its own. Yeah. Right. So it'll end the January 26th. So whatever that Friday is leading up to that, the 26th will be that thing. And then the next game jam after that is Cabin Jam. Do you want to talk about that, Glenn?
That's right.
Glenn is in charge of Cabin Jam.
So the idea behind the cabin jam is that in April, we're going to rent out an Airbnb, a lake house cabin in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, and we're going to spend there a week and make a game while we're there and then publish it on Steam. Like, it's a bit like that, but you're stuck in the woods, there's nowhere else to go, so you have to work on it. Right now, I have a plan of about 7 people, and that's what I was going to talk about, because I still need people to reply if you're going to go, because I do need to get that reserved soon, so I would need that done. I'll post when I need, or when I need a final list of everybody who's going to go. Right now, I don't, counting me, there's going to be 5 people. So if anyone else is interested, there's a channel in Discord, you can reply in there. Just let me know if you're going. I'll set a final deadline sometime later when I need the money by, and I can make the reservation. But right now, it's looking like, assuming 7 people, it'll be about $300 per person. But if we get more people to go, then it'll be cheaper. So it's up to you, if anyone's interested.
Do you have like a plan that?
Do I have a what?
Plan that?
I think I did a poll, not many people replied though.
I would let the people that actually are paying money then do the poll with just them.
I mean, Unreal won, but only like 2 people voted. So.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, you're exaggerating a little bit.
Okay, 4 people.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, that's details. We'll worry about that later. Right now, we just need the money and the list of people who are going to be there.
So throughout the year, we try and go to other people's events. So lately it's been pop-up
Anime
cons, anime cons, things like that. And then we'll go there and show off games. But then we had the Tulsa Games Festival this past October. So did anyone that attended, do you want to talk about your experience on, hey, this is the first time I ever showed off a game? Was it anyone's first time actually showing anything off? Or was it, okay, you want to go on the spot? I think you want to go on the spot. Whenever you show off a game and all that, have people do it? Or does that sound like, man, that is a whole lot of nerves? I don't like who played their game and like who hated their game and like they played it. Like, some kids sucks. Did anyone have that happen?
I mean, I had one kid who played for like 2 minutes and just got up and walked away.
That
It's not a good saying. But to be fair, he was like 6 and my game is not, it's actually meant for.
Yeah, I had a couple.
Attention span.
I had a couple people try my game. I found it overwhelming as well. So yeah, it's open ended. There's limited things you can do. It's not like, oh, I can choose between these 3 options. It's what are you going to say to the alien? And everyone's like, bro, it's a lot. So there was a couple people that came up and were like, I can't do it. I don't know. Maybe just the scenery also wasn't helping either since it was shining. But no, I think this was the best event I've went to yet. I showed off my game. It was the exact amount of people that we needed to come, and everyone had at least one person at their computer at all times. And it was perfect. Great job.
Okay, since some of you guys are new, bring your projects and then we will post, we'll rephrase that. We'll post when we're doing other events and stuff like that. And if you're like, man, I've got something to show, even if it's Pong, dude, you'd be surprised having people play it and be like, oh, I messed this up or I did that. That's a big thing.
Right.
You'd come out to one of the ones we go to. Man, I don't have, the guy that runs the ones we've been doing is just shady. They do, no, but he's not the one we go to. Okay. They do cons, but normally when you go to a con, it's like, oh, there's all these actors and like they're gonna do like the science and stuff like that. The anime cons and stuff like that. Also anime pop up or whatever. And so what they do is they set up in the morning, they bring in a bunch of people. You basically spend $20 to go shopping for stuff that you can get on Amazon
and then a bunch of people leave disappointed. And it's a 1-day con. Now we got the stuff for Creator Con, and we're gonna reapply for there, and that was an amazing con. So
Who's the one you keep getting denied to? You know,
Tokyo and Tulsa. The reason we get denied is because they have a waiting list like 10 years long. Like there's people.
Are you doing the vendor room or the exhibit?
Both.
Both?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's good.
yeah, both. And then our Sally and just like wherever they would let us. And then Wargot seems to be able to, they think they can get us into the gaming area and we'll just have a bunch of stations up.
Yeah, I can talk about that whenever you're ready.
I mean, if you got the information.
All right, so if anybody doesn't already know about the GameCon thing, March 2nd, on that Sunday, it's gonna be pretty much an all-day thing. He's not very strict on these times, so I kind of set the times arbitrarily, because I'm like, I don't want to be there till 10 p.m., so I cut that time off. But anyway, a few things. First off, there will be a giant open space for you to bring, if you want to, your own table, your own chairs. You can have your own laptop set up right there. That's a perfect place. We can also bring in some tables and chairs for that area, and that's where you can stand there and show off the game, etc. But they will have computers there, and I can have some games on these computers. There's at least like 20 of them. But I will. Those games do have a little bit of requirements. Obviously, first they have to be able to be run without somebody hovering over them, because you won't be hovering over those computers. They have to be released somewhere so the person can find the game. So they don't have to go and ask you like, hey, where's this game at? We'll have like a card or the link or something like that on the computer or beneath it, so they can find the game they really liked it. And of course, it needs to be sent to me probably about a week at least before the event starts, so that I can have them on a flash drive, get them over. We can have a computer for each game, or however many people uploaded them, and I can have them downloaded on those computers before the event itself. Other than that, Steam keys would be greatly appreciated. We're trying to do some sort of treasure hunt type thing. So everybody will be handed out some printed off slips with the games that are on the computers or games that people are going to show up with. And they'll have to do something with your game or play it or something like that. Either way, you'll sign off on it. And if they get a completed sheet, they'll turn it in and we give them a random Steam key. So Steam keys would be greatly appreciated. So we have lots of them to hand out to people. I think that'd be really cool. Other than that, not too much crazy about it. It is a $5 entry fee for the customers. That's for War Guts. It doesn't go to us.
So they're doing that instead of what they first do.
So you're saying that, since the event is on the 2nd of that March, we're looking at around the 25th of February when we need to have those games ready and sent to you?
Yeah, if you have them in that state. If you don't, you could just work on it up until the 2nd and then just get one of the little tables in the center.
Yeah, those aren't required for the games you bring on your computer and you hover over on your computer. These are for the games that will install on the computers there that nobody will be around. They could just go around and play on those computers freely.
About the size of it.
There's none currently. No, I can ask them about it.
I don't expect to get anything that big, but I'm just like,
going over it again?
it's better to know.
Yeah, I gotta say, keep it under 8 just to be safe.
Yeah, I highly doubt we're uploading Warzone.
200 gigs. It's so powerful, it needs 200.
I have a mini game inside my game, and the main game is just Warzone, and we're.
I need uncompressed FLAC audio. I need to hear the 8-bit soundtrack.
If you want an arbitrary limit, you can say something like 25, 30 gigs, but that's unrealistic for any game unless you've been working on it for years. So I don't think getting limit will be an issue as long as you're not trying to make calls.
Okay.
Are there alternatives to places we can put our games instead of Steam?
But
Yeah, for the computers, if they have to find it somewhere, what I meant by release, they just have to have access to be able to find the game online somewhere.
Right.
So they're like, this is
even
fine.
just on the website, right?
Yeah, it's just fine. Steam is fine. PlayStation, Xbox, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just as long as they can Google up your name or scan the QR code that will have on the thing, and they can find it online, free source, or it doesn't have to be free, obviously, but it has to easy to find, I guess.
Okay.
Has to be uploaded somewhere where they can get it offline without having to email you before.
What would the process of putting a game on Steam look like?
Oh, okay, so you have to have a company, you have to file that sort of stuff and then submit to Steam your tax information and things like that. And once you have that, it is $100 fee per game or per prop. Well, no, per game. Because like if you make a demo for your game, then that's free. And if you make a soundtrack, that's free, but it has to be based off the one main product.
Is the company thing new? Because I started without my company.
It's whatever the VAT thing was. It had to do with VATs, which is European taxes. There's ways around it as long as you can show some. They just need tax information. They just want to know when you're going to actually pay your taxes.
Oh, okay. May not be a company, but
Yeah. So there's other ways around it, but that's the easiest is the LLC.
pay $100 to spend an hour typing out and uploading photos. Yeah. They have a checklist. It's pretty straightforward.
Itch is way easier if you're just like, hey, I want to get something up. But more people are going to buy your game on Steam. They're going to play your game on Itch. They're not going to buy it.
Right.
So
Yeah, and good luck having people find your name on Itch.
Even if you're not ready for release, you can still put a game on Steam as in development and have a demo,
oh yeah.
just so people can add it to their wish list, which I've done 100 different indie games.
Mhm.
My wish list, I can never afford to buy all of it. It's too much.
How big is it?
200 or 300.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I need to go through there and prove a lot of it.
Wait till there will be a Christmas sale or a holiday sale or whatever it is.
It's just,
Wait till that, and then at least all of the games that didn't go on sale for that, those devs don't even pay attention to anything, so just get rid of those first. They don't ever go on sale.
I can't remember the name of it, but there was recently an indie game fest that just blew my mind how many good games are coming out of the NFC.
Next Fest.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just-
That's a big event for us. If you have a game that's in development, I would always sign up for that. I got a lot of wish lists off of the Next Fest.
yeah. I've bought, I think, 3 or 4 of them already.
Best events for us.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna go through random notes that I had, and then we can just freely talk, because that way it's way easier for everyone. When you guys were coming here, what were you guys expecting? So that we can be like, oh, this is the sort of community that, because it's more of a, hey, everyone talk to everyone and get to know, and it's supposed to be more of it's networking, but also we don't want people to be alone. A lot of people will just sit there at home working on stuff. They're like, I've been working, like there's one guy who literally worked on a game for 10 years, then he finally showed to me, he's like, I've been working on a game for 10 years. So we don't want people to be alone. So it's the place. You can be an indie dev, don't be an alone dev is the thing.
We should write that somewhere.
Yeah. So did
That's a
anyone,
motto.
the slogan. So did anyone when you guys were coming here, did anyone like, man, this is what I actually needed out of this? And then we discuss that, or you guys like, if you want to talk to privately, you can later. It's all right.
I'm not really sure what I was expecting. It's like, I'm just gonna throw it in.
Well, we don't want to be a mini GDC where every time GDC's game developers.
Right.
Okay. Not everyone knows that. The come in here, you get a talk, and then someone talks at you, and then it was like, now we're trying to build a community. That seems to be the easiest way.
Sweet.
Yeah, I mean,
That is nice.
I was hoping it was more meet people than get talked to.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Very happy.
We will get to that. I got like 4 minutes left of stuff.
You're good.
We're good.
But that's how I felt a long time ago. Whenever I
Some talking on the spot.
I had beat up forever. I've made
Stuff.
games for a few years before that, and then whenever I'm like, oh, there's actually people in Tulsa that make games like me. I thought I was alone.
Right.
Honestly,
Would we ever do like Tulsa game developers hosted talks? I think that'd
Yeah,
be
like like Tulsa Game Fest, I'd like to grow to where we could do stuff like that. But we're hoping that over time that'll grow. What I'd rather do is do like event things where it's not a normal meeting. We find like we all agree like, oh, we want to talk to this person, and we bring them in, and basically everyone just comes here. We have pizza and talk to that person, instead of them having to give a talk about like, oh, you make games like this. People ask you questions for 2 hours and you leave, and go on to that.
Yeah.
That being said, GDC 2025 Game Developers Conference in San Francisco is in March this year. I highly recommend everyone making the journey to GDC once in their lifetime. And some of you are gonna be like, that is the worst experience ever, and some of you are gonna hate it, some of you are gonna love it. But you need to go at some
I
point.
keep thinking about going, but like, be really expensive. I'm not sure it'd be worth it.
What if we got a group together to this?
I have driven there, I've flown there, and all the ways I've gotten there and stuff like that. The easiest way is con rules, where you just do a 2-bedroom thing and 4 beds, and then you just fit as many people that you're allowed to fit in there and have fun. And the rule, well, no, there's no smell because we have rules. We have with 7-hour rules. You got a shit shower shave every 24 hours. You need to eat every 7 hours, and every 3 hours you need to drink water. Those are con rules. So no one smells because there is the con funk. I don't know if you guys have been to the con experience that. We stopped that. Actually, I am going to say something a little mean. Before I started in game development, I actually went to film school, and we could smell which classes the game dev people were in because it was like a wet nickel. There's no way I can describe it. And so that has over time, that is no longer a thing, or I'm just so involved in it now that I have a smell and I'm part of it. So we'll find out. Unreal announced that through Coursera, they're officially doing certifications. So if you guys yeah, no, right? So if you guys want to do certifications through Unreal, I highly recommend that. But since a lot of you are in Unity, you guys should get Unity certified, at least their base one, get an idea of it, so that if you're putting that on job applications, now is the time to work on that sort of thing, especially while you're learning, because it's going to teach you the things that they think are the most important.
I do have a question about that. I know they used to have like these testing centers for those Coursera things, and that's kind of what pushed me out of it. Because I'm like, I don't know how to register for these testing centers or do anything like that. So I'm like, I'm just not going to do it because I can get up to the test, but I don't know how.
I have done certain ones, and they're like near Harvard.
Yeah, I think I saw some in Tulsa before, but whenever I looked back the past, it was like you have to drive all the way to OKC. That was like the only one, but that was some years
Unity
ago.
certification ones, I don't know. The Coursera one, you finish it online.
It's through Coursera, yeah.
And then chances are they've changed it. I would double check it, but I recommend to all of you get certified in something, whatever your thing is. Even if you're like, man, I'm actually an artist and I use Adobe, get Adobe certified, get Unity certified, Unreal, whatever. Godot certified.
Unity also has art certifications and something else as well besides programming, by the way.
So, can you say anything?
Unity, the Unity certifications, there's 3 different types among tiers as well. But one of them was programming, the other one's art, and I think the last one might have been sound or something. So you can get Unity certified for art. Stuff like that.
Okay. How do those certify lead learning?
It's the information that they think is important for you to know. So like the Unreal one, you have to know the multiple ways to like make a blueprint or things like that, and then you get quizzed on those. You'll also have to do a peer review project where you have to make something, upload it, and then someone else is going to review it, and then once you've submitted yours, you have to then go grade other people, and that's part of the peer review process. And then some are just tests that finish right away.
Yeah, so for Unity, there's tiers, which is user, associate, professional, and I believe there's one more, but I'm not saying it here. Maybe I take it away. Either way, and amongst those tiers, there's certified programmers, certified artists, and certified VR developers, and certified game developers.
So there's a bunch there that you guys, whatever level you're at. The other reason I brought up GDC is because if you're really trying to understand your engine, you can go there. Unity, the last time I went, their booth, they had all of their developers on the show floor, and they had little chairs next to everyone. And if you were trying to do sound, you could go up to the person that does sound, and it wasn't just someone who does it. It's literally the person that programs the engine part for it to explain this is how it works in that engine. Unreal has it very similar to where they're just all on the show floor, and then if you ask them a question, they'll be like, oh, that's Jeff. He's in charge of cinematics. Here's how it all works. Go talk to him. I'm gonna bash Unreal briefly. If you ask about how to make a fighting game and properly do hitboxes, though, that is apparently a black hole question. We literally asked a guy, and he was like, "Okay, so the first thing you have to do is actually wait." And he literally turned around and then walked away, and we never found the result. So we finally found a dev, and the answer is you gut out the collision system and you make your own. Is what we were told, and he didn't want to, I guess, say
Makes sense.
and so. Anyways,
I
that's
mean, you don't
all-
want to just say you throw away everything we put in there.
Yeah, and start over. So anyways, that
To
is,
know that, to know that what you have is junk, but to be able to do nothing about it. I understand why you walked away.
it's not junk, it's the way it handles it. You have to,
With that type of game.
because it's how all collision works in the entire engine has to be rethought.
Yeah, different engines work better with different functionalities and stuff like that. Like you wouldn't want to make a 2D game in Unreal, and perhaps I guess fighting is also something that Unreal just doesn't really specialize in.
Actually, they're number one. All fighting games are made in Unreal.
Oh, I
they
thought
did-
you just said.
No, it sucks, but that's what ended up happening is those guys were like, oh, let's use this. They made their own stuff, and now all
Oh, okay.
the Dragon Ball Fighters, all the Arc System tech, and all of those are Unreal.
It's just like a bought asset, or is it?
No, they basically someone over there figured it all out, did it, and then they talked to each other, and then they built out all their fighting
The
games that
secret
way.
Unity.
Yeah, pretty much.
You said ArcSys, all of ArcSys works, like, they use, Unreal Engine for their.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, so it's like DNF, like what's the most? Yeah, like pretty much all of them now. They're all licensed. They spend enough money on it.
Dang, that must have, because I was wondering why Strata always looks so good, and I was like, well, well, I would explain it.
Okay, but you can make it can look just as great in Unity as you can in Unreal. Like that, like how games look have nothing to do with what engine they're in.
I don't think so. That's a missing subject.
Just the amount of work you have
Yeah.
to put into making it look better.
I've seen some ugly games in Unreal, and I've seen some ugly games in Unity. Like it's not
I've seen a lot of it.
like yeah, it's about knowing how to do it.
Yeah.
So, all right, so that's all of my notes of stuff. I normally ask, I've already asked once, but since new people came in, is anyone stuck on anything you need help solving a problem? If not, does anyone else have anything going on in the game dev industry that you're like, man, this is happening, I want to talk about it?
Yeah, I have a couple of things I can bring up. First off, if anybody's interested, I am making videos of playing my game. I chop them down up to about a minute. Sometimes I make 2 videos of it, so 2 minutes. Daniel's made a couple of videos with me, and I have one booked up for you recently because you're freaking hilarious. If anybody else is interested, you can let me know. Doesn't require video. It can just be your voice, but you're talking to an AI because I have OpenAI integrated into Unity.
I want to try that so bad. It seems so wacky. Just having a chat with an alien.
Oh, you've seen the alien one?
No, just you described it.
Good.
But it's the alien one is kind of like a funky alien. The game itself is you convincing the alien not to destroy the world.
Yeah.
And it's actually super funny to try and convince them because you can't convince them usual means. Like I thought, like, oh, what if I just go up to him and say, hey, don't destroy the earth, we have kittens. He hates that. His arm swings very quickly towards the destroy button. But if you tell him that we on Earth have earthworms that if you eat, it gains you superpowers, I've had somebody save the world that. So someone's also said skippity toilet. And he's like, I like that word. And then he blew away. So if anybody's interested in that, feel free to reach out to me. We plan to do it after this meeting, so anybody can watch as well. If they want to, I can cut out sound. It's not all of a video.
It's fun.
Real quick question. You guys, each of you, and I guess you as well, just whoever else wants to pop in popcorn style, have been working on lately? Like, what's been your thing you've been working on?
Obviously, I've been working on the ChatGPT type game. The end product is gonna be a medieval bartering game where you're a merchant in the medieval era. People will come up and try to buy and sell items from you and exchange those goods. And there'll be lots of other side stuff going along with it because it's a talking game and there's a lot of stuff you can do with talking. Anything from you can buy poison and sell that poison to somebody and they'll kill them. You have to convince them it's not poison. Or a murder mystery, so you talk to people and find out suspects, kind of like werewolf or something like that. That can also be integrated in it, amongst other things. You've been working on
Dropouts.
Dropouts.
For 1,000 years now. It's a third-person shooter where you have to blow up the ground that people are on instead of shooting them. And even if you shoot them, it doesn't hurt them, and you have to make them drop out of the map.
Oh, so it's sleep.
Yes. I've never played that game, and then I found video, but like everyone would talk about it. It's way more fun than that though, because I have like, here's a laser gun and it shoots this, and I have what I call the big boom, and it literally shoots a big boom across the whole map.
Does it have rocket jumping?
No, but by default you can triple jump, I think,
Okay.
or double jump. I think double right now.
That as far as shooters go, the only mechanic I play Team Fortress 2. It's like my favorite mechanic in all of gaming has to be rocket jumping. So it's like anytime someone says first person shooter, I was like, is that it?
You one of those Highlander people?
Say what?
You one of those Highlander players?
No, I didn't much like do any of the actual like fighting and whatnot. I would just go on jumping enemy servers and just lobotomize jumping. Those are like mostly games and whatnot. But I've always wanted to make a game that was all of that nonsense, so fighting and all that taken out, and just rocket jumping. That's something I've always wanted to do because it tickles the part of my brain that I
Well, there's like
Vulture Kill. No, I haven't.
Like,
I've seen it.
probably some of my favorite like movement tech and FPS game. You can do a ton of that. I think it would be something that you would probably enjoy.
Is it like really scripted its movement mechanics? Does it feel very?
It is super modular. There is not like there's one weapon called the marksman's pistol. It has an alt fire called coin chest, and what it is you flick a coin in the air, and if you can shoot the coin, then it'll automatically redirect it to like an enemy's weak point.
Well, that's
Or you can throw 4 points and shoot one little ricochet and then hit multiple. And it's really
okay.
is that the one with like little cards? Is it like
Oh no, you're thinking of
where you have to like get to the end of the round?
yes,
Or is it something better?
Neon Light.
Yes, that's what I was. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So Ultra Kill.
Yes, it's super sick.
Okay.
One of my
Also, I tend to not be into games that are like sort of like the hype. So I'm like call me a hippie or whatnot, but like I just like if it's popular, I'm like I want to play it. But if it is genuinely good,
It is
like that, I might.
So once it came out, it's still in like beta technically.
Yeah, it's not really accurate.
The perpetual beta.
Well, they made a lot of progress on it, but it's whenever it came out, it hit I think the second place spot on speedrun.com. That's out there, right? Beating like Mario 64, Celeste, like it crazy. Yeah, it's really cool.
Nice.
Continue on your question. I work in Unity, he works on Rio. He's working in Godot right now, and he's making an office sneaking gaming simulator.
A base good to enjoy. That was the first one. That game I was describing. That was effectively just a block pushing game. That was the first movie like game that I actually made.
Like it's good.
And that was Godot, yeah. I quite liked Godot, but then I was like, Unity for school, and I was like, oh, this isn't too bad. It's just a little more complex. You're like a little bit.
I mean, we've seen Pong, but I'm assuming you have a different game plan that you're like, man, this is what I want to make after, or at some point in life.
So I've been like, I know a lot about programming. I have been programming, like fiddling around with things for years, but like I was never one who could really get a game going. Like I'm not very good at like get it. I have a lot of ideas though. One of them was I was wanting to try because I enjoyed making like more story-based games. So I wanted to make like a
MMORPG right
now. I jumped straight into I actually don't enjoy RPGs that much. There was exactly one RPG though that I wanted to try, which would, I mean, I guess if someone wants to steal the idea, I'm fine with it. But the idea is that it's a world where like spellcasting is done with instruments effectively, so everyone's a bard. But the genre of music changes the way the spell works. So like there's a genre of music for like all things rock, which is mostly just like AoE damage. There's jazz funk and that like a fusion aspect, which is mostly like movement-based mechanics and like a lot of like tricky kind of just stuff like that. There was like lo-fi, which was like healing and whatnot. And so what you did was you collected the weapons were basically just like souped up instruments looking things, like cyberpunk style, not cyberpunk, but like futuristic instruments effectively. Like the very first one that you'd ever get was like a souped up tuning fork. So what you do is you smack it against something, and then it would gain a charge from being smacked as the tuning fork. And then when you hit someone, it does like critical damage effectively. The main thing that was going to work around that, because I was like, it's a music-based game, I would introduce a bit of like the complexities of playing instruments into it. So you didn't have to actually aim your shots at all. Instead, what you had to do was you could move with WASD and whatnots. And then when you wanted to fire a weapon, you had to use the numpad and input a sequence into the numpad that was like basically a very simple musical like rhythm or whatnot into it that would play the instrument. And so you could like you name based on which ones you hit, and it was kind of like that aspect. So it's like as you play through the game, you would get like new recipes, quote unquote, that are just new. Like so, you get a new spell that you play by doing a sequence, and it would like unlock that. You can feel free to steal the idea because there's absolutely no way to be able to get that anytime soon. But because it's just a ton of sound design, but a ton of sound design, and then the physics. Yeah, but that was one that was like
Too bad Elliot's not here. He made a rhythm game recently, actually, one of our members. I don't think his brand about it. His dad is a musician as well, isn't he? So
yeah.
He's in the Discord, just brush guy.
Say what?
He's brush guy in the Discord.
Brush guy? Okay.
I also know somebody that makes music. So it's you have to, and it's hard to convince them to do it, but
Right. Well, I kind of wanted to at least do that myself, but yeah. So that was the one game that I was wanting to do. There are some other ideas, but I didn't go to this because there's I don't know, it's peaceful going.
yeah, it's definitely a unique idea. So yeah, it's potential and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just be careful about the overscope your project.
That's why I was like really worried about it, because it's like that's at worst or at best like maybe like 100 weapons, and then you have to do all the recipes for that, and then you have to do all of the sound design for all of that nonsense. Then just
You said 100?
I mean, you think about it's like you have a lot of different musical genres. You're gonna need to be able to deal with playing stuff in specific genres, even if it's like same instrument, different genre, different recipe effectively. So it's like ton of like when I was planning it out, I was like, this was going to get loaded extremely quickly.
It's only that many through multiplication of different things you.
Exactly. That's the combination, because I like the freedom of expression through combinations like that. But man, it's a double-edged sword.
And the thing that you could do is you always make something called vertical slice. And then you could bring those to the events that we hold. And this would be a great way to kind of test focus and just have like a group and see what your idea is, if you've executed it, and people enjoy it, and if it's a cool idea. That way you don't want to spend like a ton of time building on a game that's really like.
So vertical slice, like the minimum, like what would make the game function, and not necessarily with all the content.
Yeah,
just functions basically.
Yeah, we got
Is this exactly?
We're not meeting here, we're gonna want the whole by the slice, I'm buying 3 pieces because it's gonna be
Essentially,
so come back
You were
then.
going to make.
Yeah.
Because we're down to a very, very small. Game of your all. put it up to a good quality, whatever you need, AR, shower, all that stuff, so it's very small. So think about the demo.
Come back next time and strip stuff off.
For sure, but usually it's.
Maybe you should get it filming.
It's faster show.
Did you get a card for the
Have
Discord?
this idea, have this thing. So that I can.
If you have
so
like an injury like that,
fill out.
just send the
Yeah.
game to me or whatever, or just be like, there's a showcase on Discord, and we can throw it on
Yeah.
that side.
Yeah,
If you have something
yes,
online.
yeah,
that I
like-
don't-
Take out all the like content and stuff and just make it just a room with things you shoot at.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't sound as bad.
It's a great way because again, you can take it to an event, then kids can play it, kids are group.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, they're the.
Able to tell you if they like it or not.
Yeah.
But when you get a kid and they're just stuck there for like a half hour playing your game, you're in a good place. Yeah. That's.
I like
Just such a suitable way.
it could be fun.
Yeah.
Like, did we play Half Sword?
Uh,
It's the wackiest controls. You're just a guy with a sword or different melee weapons fighting other medieval peasants. But it's so boring. And you're just in an empty room, an empty, barely lighted room. The game is nothing other than here's some movement mechanics. Here's the way your hands work. Here's some sharp sticks. And I love it. It's one of the.
Is it just a demo right now?
Yeah, there's a demo now. It's more advanced than it was.
Okay, because you had to request access or whatever, so I didn't know.
That's the newer version.
Newer. Okay.
Yeah, the old version was the empty room. Now they actually have more stuff going on. Like the old version, you couldn't even see walls or a ceiling or anything. It was just, here's a floor.
Yeah.
Here's some torches and here's like 30 feet.
huh.
It's like, it's as textbook vertical slices I've ever seen. And it was, I played it for 20, 30 hours. It's just,
So-
so addictive.
So yeah, so the general idea is just like, you can tell early on with it if you have something that's interesting or not.
Quite,
Yeah.
I still couldn't
mean,
beat
everybody
it.
goes
It's crazy. Yeah, just one peasant killing a bunch of us.
That's still sad that I just allow.
Get far into
that.
that.
Right.
Some
Other
actual
people
soul.
have something
They want to tell, or something they want to know in that person. And so there's a hundred different ways to approach this, but if, depending on where you align with those things, right? If you're making a game for yourself, because you're just like, I don't see it out there in the world, I just want to play this. Then, you say, I want to play that, develop it all you want. But if you've got other approaches to that and you want people to play this, you want them to experience it, it's super easy to make something much more small scoped and see if that's a good idea before you even invest 5, 7, 10 years into the game.
That's something, one of the biggest issues I'm having is like, I play a lot of video games, but you can't really like just play a ton of video games because then you're just gonna take all that development time away. So it's like, I have to physically like lock away my games and be like, if I'm going to develop, I am gonna have to remove these things because I want to be able to, like, I want to entertain myself to an extent. Like, I gotta put in the work kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of a firm believer of balance, right? So like if you lock those things away, you could do it, you could, but most likely you're gonna like eventually kind of break, and then you're just gonna play everything that you've missed, and you're gonna be like, oh God, I can't stop.
Right.
And-
Or like resent the development experience.
Exactly. And
Or burn
the-
yourself out.
Yeah, and the nice thing is as well is there's been a lot of examples where somebody's been developing a game, right? And they've kind of locked themselves away, like, oh, I want to develop this game. And by the time the game came out, it's kind of outdated at this point. Like there's a lot of games that came out during that time. You had a great idea at that point, but you kind of locked away all the new ideas that are coming. So let those things freeform evolve. And that's why I say that balance. Find a good way to give yourself freedom to enjoy life and do things, because that will help this product flourish. But if you lean too much on one side and it becomes a problem, that's, more of a personal thing to kind of work out.
Right. Okay.
I like
He's a professional artist, by the way.
I like I'd like to see somebody's example of, this game didn't exist, so I made what I wanted to play.
Yeah.
Because that sounds,
I mean,
That's a lot of everyone's here.
One
I know the guy that makes Stardew Valley, that was his premise.
Yeah.
He just wanted the perfect game.
Well, no, he was obsessed with Harvest Moon.
Yeah, oh, I was too.
Yeah, and so like,
I loved Harvest.
what was he, I mean, I definitely feel like, yeah, there was nothing there, like, he was missing a bunch of stuff, and he did it, but I wouldn't, I feel like it's almost like we make like little reiterations in game, like, oh, it did a first person, but it does this or what, the only game I can think of that, like, it didn't exist at all. Like, I feel like every game is that way, it's like a giant struggle, it didn't exist, and then you got it out there. So I feel like each game is like its own little.
Yeah.
Name one game that's like that.
Yeah. Like they all, well, hopefully they all have something unique. Well, you have Fate games, that's a good story.
Yeah, what?
Fate games, it's where someone goes on the Unity or Unreal Asset Store, and then there's already a template, and then they go and try and sell that template on Steam. And be like, oh, this is the game, and all they focus on is branding.
Right.
But
I feel like they're not doing that as much anymore.
yeah,
Yes.
It was big for a couple of years, but I haven't seen a whole lot of them.
yeah.
Obviously, people are just not gonna fall for it.
I don't feel like I've seen it in like 20 years of like, oh, like when Doom was made, that was like, hey, we're making this new genre.
Yeah.
I guess what I was thinking of, it didn't exist until they like genre defining game. I guess Souls would be the newest. But even then, it's like,
It's just a hard action RPG.
yeah, it's like it feels a lot like a Zelda game that got really intense.
I mean, you could say Devil May Cry, which
Yeah,
is
it's fair,
Souls-like.
yeah.
It's much older, but
Yeah.
it wasn't hard.
No, it's,
It
was flashing.
Souls like the biggest draw to them for me is just the learning curve is the same.
Skill ceiling was high up.
Yeah, like I suffered. I suffered with Dark Souls 1. And then when 2 came out, it was the easiest game I'd ever played.
Do that separate, made you strong.
Yes.
So, but back to the thing when you're like, oh, a game that Stardew and all that. I really feel like you already have like a series, there's a library of games already in your head before you even go into making it.
Yeah.
So like, it was more of an existential thing of, are we creating anything new or are we creating what we wanted from something else? Because I feel like majority of the time I'm like, man, I'm building on the shoulders of giants. I don't feel like.
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. Though.
Yeah.
Just
But-
just create what you want to create. Tell your story. Just
I feel like
it doesn't. You don't have to have something genre defined.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're worrying a lot about like whether this game is original, whether this is going to be a good game, whether people are gonna play it, then you're just never gonna make a game. Like,
Because you can market and sell crappy games. It's done all the time. So did you have a game in mind that you were like thinking of that you're like, man? this is- okay.
The most I've ever done was Mods. Life. Morrowind and Oblivion. Kind of stuff. I'm a web developer, but not one of the that I don't want to be good. I just scream what's stuff.
Yeah.
A solution that
I think about trying to pick up for something in my own time.
and not work on school experience. So I had.
I'm trying to get my foot in an industry that I don't have a lot in, but I'm already 30 age, so I can't.
I think it's just.
That's the perfect time.
Flash games aren't the shit.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to make something like that. Mobile game. Like, I'm sure I could. I'll figure that out. So,
You know, the
I wouldn't know where to start.
You should start cloning games. You should release those, be like, oh, I made Frogger, I'm gonna resell it, but it's don't do that. I would make a list of 5 arcade games that you think are really good, and then just try ordering, because that's what I did. And where I got those done, then it was like, oh, I understand how the engine works, I'm not fighting it, it's interesting. And once you get past that barrier, then you can figure out, okay, if I did this, oh, I can do this, do it.
game, like a specific lesson that I had is like.
It's my idea.
That they have like a ton of like stance with long, like a break out and stuff like that. Nightfall. Oh, it was respectful. Just sounds great. Like these are very development. Yeah, that had stuff like it. So it was only like 13. But yeah, so it would be.
And this is a big segue because we do have a community project on the Tulsa Young Developers for some reason. Just that. Mechanics games is an open set. So we're playing a game, we're like, this is what we're playing. We're back there. Playing some blue dragon guy, like, no, it's fire. It's not fire. So we keep yeah, I'm going to hit something like, oh, I would love to learn how to value some aspect ratio.
That kind of reminds me of, because one of the projects that we had to do before our actual stuff was making a 3D platformer. And so I literally against it, I got running and functioning. I was like, all right, this thing's about to go Mario Sunshine.
That's what this project is. It's a bunch of small mechanics, but kind of compiled into the game. So we got stuff like Sonic, we got stuff like
It's still
stuff like Resident Evil.
So you learn a lot.
Yeah, it's
Because, well, even we were talking about Mario mechanics for the tilts, the platform and stuff like that. We were trying, how did they do it in the 90s? How did they do it now in Unreal? I have no idea.
That's held solution.
So, okay, this platform, when you go on one side and it's on, and then it does like a circle and it stops back at the top. If you go on the left side, it goes to the left. If you go on the right, it goes to the right. So you jump off it.
For anybody to attribute to, almost everything. So we kind of have my own, it's not just or whatever. Now, it's just all just some rolling. Yes, and there's just, you can find kind of a single section in this coordinates. Serves, nobody.
And then when we say that was 12 over years, because it was wide, so up and down. On Jacob. Oh, yeah, we got that.
So we have a project board. So it's on small, so 300. Has to lie. In the project board, we have our different mascot that we talked about, but we also have in there. That was just. Change the grade. Okay, so shooting. Because when they seem to be that it's screwing up, it's changing from there to 1,000. Yeah. In which, yeah, and starting. Here at the Tulsa Years project, that's supposed to kind of be it. Yeah, it's just showing it's all in the project. Yeah, something like Mario, you might have mentioned. Oh, okay.
I do like it. That's like the one where it's kind of like.
Oh, okay.
I never worked.
Well, there you go.
I can't.
Now's your time.
You got this school projects that I made. If I get time, I'll pop it.
I just have to legally say every time you guys play the game, I never paid me for speed.
It's not monster.
They don't have more hours. I'm actually here to convert you all. So here's your old card, you guys, meet our staff.
I think I'll stick with just doing lunch, whatever. I'll release my first.
So that's something like a your turn. So what about the other guys haven't talked really? You want to say, at least your name, Nathaniel?
I'm Jesse.
Yeah. David.
Yeah.
Like people during my student here at Atlas.
That's like a
My,
because it was obvious.
still my
Is
not like development. It's very much a sheet like. The context of it's interested when game projects like it's your island is the implementation kind of like still the game that was mentioned before of LLMs in
games or reinforcement learning, or basically teaching AI how to play the game. And so that's my.
I've seen that.
See, you're talking about doing machine learning. Have you seen it? They have a contest every year where they pick a random Mario level and they have to come up with a new AI thing for it, and they'll show like people's progress. And it's like, oh, it took this many tries to actually beat the level, and oh, we got it by this many life cycles or whatever. Generations, yeah. It was like it took us this many generations before we complete the game as quickly as possible.
What is that called?
It was just on YouTube. They just
I just looked that up.
yeah, and then but one guy did it, and then they started doing, and then each year they pick out here's an assignment, and then you work as a team, and then so like one of them was
That sounds great.
they build out a little house. It has walls, and if you get spotted, then your character freezes or whatever. So you have like 10 seconds, and then there's a bunch of different objects. And they either have to move stuff around to get spotted, and it's how many generations until they can beat them 5 in a row or whatever.
Dude, came up with a great strategy.
Where, like,
They
those
start
generations-
pushing stuff against the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the paper that, yeah, like the growth mechanics of the game to let in? Like, yeah, that's great.
They did have several of them, yeah,
That's
that was
fun.
really cool.
Yeah, like the AI figured out a glitch with their collision to like launch themselves into the place they're riding. So then they had to like move with an entirely new strategy.
But yeah, those are pretty fun players.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting.
What engine are you using?
The engine that I've used previously is Unity, but my experience is I've only done a few tutorials for like basic games in Unity, and then messed around with some packages that Unity has, like the opening AI, Unity interface or whatever. So Unity, but relatively building.
You messed with the Unity's building machine learning yet?
You mean Census?
I'm sure what they call it now. There's age name or.
Yeah, notice Barracuda and then Census. Okay.
I didn't know that they do have some machine learning that you.
That would be really interesting.
The examples they have is like a block that tries to balance all of its head, and every time it fails points, then it tries to bounce the ball better and better.
Okay, so that, I think there's something that's probably called RL agents or something. Yeah, like reinforcement. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
No, I should look at that.
All right, this is adjacent to that. There's a really cool YouTube channel called AI in Gaming, and where he just breaks down every type of AI in different games, and like, oh, here's the Alien and Alien Isolation. Here's how they did it in Command and Conquer and like StarCraft and stuff like that. And I know it's similar to machine learning, and then they would break down other things. And he's working on different games to do like procedural games.
Yeah, is that referred to more like, I guess you would say, the logic? Because I'm assuming that not all of them use like actual
built-in logic.
Yeah, so that's what it.
It's not exact. It's way
Like
higher level of stuff than what you'd be doing, but adjacent. But it's a really cool channel, and then they break down other things, and then they'll do. That's how I found out, like other experiments and stuff, because he works in machine learning in general, I believe, like as a day job.
Okay.
And he just does fun experiments.
Oh man, that sounds.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure that there are some videos that do incorporate things that I would be very familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. AI and gaming.
Yeah, AI and gaming is really interesting.
There's I just remembered this. There's a really cool thing coming up soon for the programmers here, called Advent of Code. December 1st through 25th. It's just a bunch of like little algorithm problems. It's pretty fun, pretty cool. I recommend that as well.
And then they're hosting it, or is it like a global thing?
It's a global thing.
Yeah.
They have actually, I forget the exact time that all of them drop, but they have a global leaderboard that you can try to get high scores on by finishing them before other people, and efficiently. But, yeah.
That being said, do you get into data science stuff? I know this is off topic.
Yeah, we've done some data science. We did some here, so I at least understand, like, I know what a binary tree is. I understand how to like, use hash lists. I understand how to, like, understand what big of a is. Like, I do understand, like, a decent, like, at least enough to make conversation.
Yeah. All right. There's a website called Kaggle.
Yeah.
And what you do is they put out bounties. So instead of hiring someone to solve something, they'll be like, hey, we'll just give you 50 grand if you can give us the best way to solve this. And they put a time on, and then whoever solves it the quickest and does it the best gets the 50 grand.
Yeah.
And so you can tip different. And I know people are like, literally all they do is just focus on bounties as soon as they come out, and they make millions. It's like, okay.
So that's a crazy, that's a crazy job.
Kaggle.
Yeah.
That's a wild.
Yeah, right.
I didn't know that they did that. I knew them for their, like, they host a bunch of data sets.
They'll do data sets, but they have bounties that like Google, instead of being like, hey, we're going to spend 100 grand on a programmer, they'll be like, we'll spend 50 on some who knows person or a group of people and then see who shows up.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of other stuff on that site. I don't know who else does data science, but there's also like previous solutions.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
No.
It's programming and it's Atlas related. But it's
Yes.
but it's fun. So if you're like, I'm in a pinch and need an extra 50 grand, try and, win one of those competitions.
I kind of like.
I think it got to the point where you could win this competition, so you could probably win more than one.
If I could finish one of those competitions, I would be happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll be like,
architecture that will work with one.
So I definitely already my 2000.
Yeah,
One of
that song.
Oh, just it was still coming in.
Move on to Superman.
no. I was going to say, your name was David, right?
Yes.
And then Jeremy.
Jesse.
Sorry.
You're good.
Right on. I just make sure I know everyone's name. Do you have anything you want to be like, oh, this is what my goal is or anything moving forward? So we kind of have an idea of like, hey, Dave, the guy, like whatever, the data guy, the AI guy, the machine learning guy.
Well, my interests are, as stated before, using reinforcement learning or LLMs in game engines. There is one game I would like to make. It's basically an educational game. I was a middle school teacher for this, and I would like to make something that utilizes effective learning strategies to basically effectively and efficiently bring someone through the different stages of learning and eventually reach mastery with semantic knowledge, with like facts or whatever. Like,
I mean, models across the street, have you reached out to them? See an internship?
I currently have an internship, or at least I guess I should say that is a good idea.
Because they're an educational software that's doing,
They
they
are
do
pretty
stuff.
adjacent.
Yeah.
I think that you're right, and that I should reach out to them, or at least talk to them.
Sam works there. He sometimes comes to meetings. So
Yeah, I guess my thought, or at least I don't think I have access to them, but my understanding is that there's a lot of scholarship, a lot of the science of coding, and they aren't best utilizing that yet, as far as I understand, and I would like to make something that
give it an internship. It's
Yeah,
it's more just get your foot in the door. Because you're trying to get ed tech world or because you said you did the middle school stuff, so I just assumed.
I mean, well,
Ed tech is a wild west that has nothing. It has terrible games, but a ton of money. So
that is kind of true, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just like educational software, there's a lot of money to that.
Yeah.
So.
But also, there's a lot of homeschools, and if you're a Canadian company or whatever, they don't want a non-American. companies. A lot of them, it's just the fact that you started here in America means, okay, we're going to buy you because you're all the only option now.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you know, like, model the kinds of internships? Is it like?
No, it's all sorts of stuff.
But
But you're saying doing the AI, I mean, the machine learning and stuff like that, they do that to like figure out like, oh, how do we restrict this?
oh, okay, yeah, like. No, I should definitely reach out to them.
And like, well, like even down as simple as like, okay, we need at a fifth grade level, we need this many sentences with a missing word. What's the missing word? And it has to fill in the blank, and it needs to fill in that, you know,
That makes sense.
bunch of stuff like that.
Do you know, it's okay if you don't off the top of your head, who should I reach out to, just their HR person?
Yeah, I would reach out to Edna.
Edna?
Yeah, because she's
Oh, yeah, she came from.
she's also she does different talks and stuff. Around
Yeah, I think she's came, there's a fireside chat. Then.
Yes.
Yeah, she was there.
Yeah, I would reach out to Edna. She's really nice, and then tell her, hey, they're always looking, especially former teachers, because you kind of have an idea of like, oh, you know what's going on here.
do.
Yeah, and so like everyone that works there except for like 2 people have been a former teacher.
So it's like.
No, but that is it's not.
Not necessarily.
No. It's not something they look for, but as soon as they find it, they're like, hey, this is helpful.
Yeah.
And they're literally the only option you have in 100 miles of here. So
That is true. If I'm looking, if that is something I want to do as a job there.
yeah. But I'm gonna shut up, let other
Yeah,
people
yeah.
talk.
Okay.
No, I'll keep.
No, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Especially with the other table. Like,
Yeah, you got 'em.
whole other table of human beings. Awkward silence, buddy.
So, talk to his name. What's your name, sir?
Go through, what's up, guys? I'm Michael. I work in film production. Actually, I work with these guys. I've actually been involved with Tulsa game developers for quite a long time now. Yeah, a long time. I remember the first meetings. So my work is kind of consumed me a little bit, but I'm working on getting back out and hanging out with all you cool folks.
Nice.
Thanks for coming back.
I'm on this, I'm looking at the program and quite interested in joining
For Tulsa Game Minutes or Atlas?
Atlas.
Did you hear for the open event?
No.
Okay, cool. So there's no open event going across the street. Yeah. So we're technically just part of Tech at Home. And then we have a Discord if you want to connection, so I'll give you the card for that.
What's it called? It's, I forgot his name, but he did tell me to look into Oklahoma as well. To just like know all my bases. I'm forgetting his name. But yeah, that's basically what I'm doing. It's just looking at all that has to be offered.
What kind of game are you thinking of making? If you want to talk about that, or is that like a private thing? It's okay for this.
I like mobile because it is pretty much how it's going to be heading towards in the future. It's a lot of mobile games.
Good.
Yeah.
I can't tell if it's going to console even mobile game now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's blended so much.
Console games, they're more quality. They're
Yeah, well, not as many microtransactions, but like, it would not surprise me if as soon as GTA 6 does happen, they're like, GTA 5 is now on your iPhone. Don't forget.
No. They'll probably just put GTA 6 on mobile.
Yeah, or like just.
A dumbed down version.
Yeah, but well, no, just stream it through cloud. Like,
Xbox doing that.
Yeah, that's what Xbox does. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Stream it through.
I was going to say I don't think they'll be able to do that because the iPhone is maybe on Androids, but not on iPhones because iPhones you do too much on one thing on this phone and it is fried and it's dead.
Yeah.
So,
No, it'll be streamed. It'll work like a movie, like streaming a video, but you're actually playing. Like xCloud is already on that, so like I could stream my Xbox right now on my phone and run Member
Stadia. That's
Yeah, I remember Stadia.
So, question, does anyone know how to like hook up like a game console inside the Tesla screen?
No. Well, then you assume that we have Teslas.
There's YouTube video tutorials for it.
Oh,
I've been looking and I can't see the file that actually like works.
Oh.
yeah, very funny.
It's only USB-C, and none of the USB-C imports, connect to the, but yeah.
I don't know, Tesla really been cracking down on people using like third-party software and their stuff though anyway. Like,
Yeah.
they've been really like
You
cracking down on
can't do anything like, it's like, you get this and you get what you get off of it.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't even want it anymore.
The Tesla where it's just the project.
Yeah. Yeah, and, I've been trying to like figure out how to get it where I'm at like months. Like I can't seem to like get anything connected to it. I don't know how to get it.
You probably have to like hardwire your other thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Versus mirrors, like that switching with your company.
Yeah.
And then that's you know, more hardware.
You may have the warranty. So.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Warranty.
Yeah.
Oh. Do they not have? Don't they have like their own app to be like, hey, actually have a video on something?
The Tesla app is supposed to be just something you use when you're at home and you want to like preheat your car. Like, it's not that.
Also, they don't have any physical controls in a Tesla, like for controlling your air conditioner. You have to do it with the touch screen. It's
So if your car is dead, you just can't get your car.
well, it's not even that. Like, you have to take your eyes off the road to turn the heat on.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it drives for you.
I don't need to worry about that.
I just know this. Like,
It's just the way that.
I would have a panic attack driving a Tesla. I can't do it.
Just get like a bag, like put a little like background of the Tesla on like a photo, and then just like glue a Lego minifigure to it, put it in front of the camera, and then it's just like, oh, everything's fine here.
How much time you spend in your car that you like, I need a console?
I do spend a lot of time in my car. I like sitting in the car a lot.
To be honest, if I had a Tesla, I probably would
So
too.
you paid so much money, yeah, I would probably use it a lot.
I didn't really pay too much, I only paid like 22, then just, yeah, that's like not really even tax credit, brought it down to like 18. So it's like, that's not bad.
Cool. So you're saying you get a commission every time somebody buys a Tesla for this right now?
Oh, they do have that, I get $100.
Oh, that's.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. They spent like $50,000 on theirs, but I get $100 because of it, yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. But no, I was just wondering if anyone knew how to do that, that's it, because it's something that's been, bothering me personally, because I can't get anything in this screen.
Yeah, you probably have to just wire it in yourself.
Ooh.
Good luck.
But that's Montez, that's basically my issues. Steve, so many guys.
What's up, guys? My name's Colby.
Hey, go.
It's been about a year since I've been to a meeting. I think I went to the last. You got we had at the theater downtown. I play games here and there. Project to project.
How often is it? How?
It's once a month. It's the second Thursday of every month.
Oh, okay.
I'm Brandon. I'm a technical artist. I do a lot of more film than games recently, but yeah, I do a lot of shaders, tools, stuff like that.
Cool. Nice. Anything you're proud of? You're like, man, you guys got a chance. Or is it all around you?
Say probably a lot of it then, yeah. But
Okay.
I don't talk about it, we can show it, I guess, like.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna go that fast.
Yeah, our boss people is agree, so.
My head's at the top, fuck no.
I mean, I don't have it on me, but, the topic. I mean, honestly, I would say just like go to my page. I have
Yeah.
yeah. Up there.
You were on, already the game on the main page.
Okay, yeah, I have 2 or 3 of them are, okay, but you have a whole lot of games, yeah.
Embarrassed about it.
Who are you?
I'm in school for modeling animation. I've just been tagging along with Brandon and been doing this art mostly.
Cool.
What? No, nobody has done plots.
Oh, well, I'm definitely this.
Anything you want to show off? You're like, nah, funny.
That's fair.
Right, I'm on the use of my reader. I also really like. I like making things look pretty.
Nice. Anything you want to show off or talk about, or are you like, are you good? Waiting.
I like the party.
That's it. I don't have anything else up.
Did you have any party you wanted to show off?
I think your shirt is after this one. Like, that shirt might be somewhere into it.
Yeah.
First out of the sea.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha, a lot of grog in it.
No, I'm Adrian. I'm a 3D artist. Yeah, that's all.
Sweet.
Very cool, very cool.
Who are you?
I am Nathan. I'm a student here at Atlas. This wonderful place. But I just going here for like 2 years now. For 4 years total, I've been doing 3D art. Really want to get good at that. Do full animations, visual effects, a bunch of dreams to achieve. Way too ambitious, but now over the past 2 years, we've been coding here at Atlas, and I kind of like combine the two art and coding into really cool stuff. Basically, really just sum it down. I just want to make cool things.
Nice.
Thank you.
Anything you want to show off?
Anything you want to show off? You got it? Post stuff. You got something on you?
They got that. That is great.
I mean, I could like see just like artwork that I made.
Post it, post it, post it, post it, post it. Pressure, Peter, pressure.
Wait till I show it.
You don't have to, if you don't want to. No, I didn't know if you had anything, just had anything, like, oh, here's some portfolio stuff you have.
Discord. Post it, post it.
I already have.
Oh. Send a link to the original post, send a link to the original. Don't worry, I'll just obsessively look through the Discord and the filters for your stuff. We're not embarrassing one way or another.
I was looking up
I'm kidding. Used to actually try to do media stuff in the past, but I gave up on that. So basically come here for inspiration. No, to see everyone doing it, it's like, oh, someone mentioned it earlier, I can do, but again, I'm not the only one here doing this.
Yep, right.
You can be an indie dev, just don't be alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I heard that tonight, it's just like, forget it. I was a big 3D model, but then I got rid of that.
Very done.
Did you put anything out in the world, or are you still working on that?
I have not put it down.
Okay. When you do post it in Discord, whenever even if it's tiny, post
Yeah,
it.
it was 3D model, but it's only had PNGs on there, so
That's good, yeah, just post that up.
I can do that.
There's a showcase area that.
It's not a showcase so much as it is.
No, in Discord, it's called Showcase.
Oh.
Post in there and be like, hey.
It's about like, it's not really showcase, it's more like show like output to.
Shout into the void.
Shout to the void.
You guys wanna just go, I know we kind of talked earlier, but that way. Guys.
So I'm Jesse, I'm not really into development, I love games, I like websites, and databases, and clean user interfaces, but like, I am passionate about indie games, so if anybody wants a non-developer to lay some eyes on something, I'll test whatever. Try to give good feedback. I don't know, I don't really have any ideas for what I would want to develop. Maybe something will come to me eventually.
Right.
You already went.
Well, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm Brad. I am an XR developer here at Atlas. I'm very newbie at it, so don't ask me much technical stuff about VR. Mostly it's doing Unity right now. I kind of went in depth about what I would do, so I'll reiterate long treasure old ground. But yeah, I'll say pretty much why I came to this. I came here because honestly, like, I tend to have so many ideas that I kind of overwhelm myself with them, and I like really get shut down trying to be in the development process and then be like, oh, I need to have 6 or whatnot. So I was like, I'm coming down be like a looking for people who kind of probably some of you understand that feeling. So I was like, just to be able to, like be with like-minded people who understand, like, and be like, hey, good. And then I want to be able to throw something into the community and really have like, yeah, have my people. Yeah.
This is technically a palm. Do you want to show it?
It kind of functions.
Okay.
Like it's some sort. It's not amazing.
I mean, you can play as 2 people. I haven't got a bot working for it yet, although I will at some point. It's also not built, it's just in the editor right now. I'll be making a build of it pretty soon, but yeah, it is at least not friendship. At least last session. Yeah, it's just a silly long game. Silly long time. I'm still working on trying to get the echo panels to not be super. But yeah, it's got scoring on it. It's got sets on it, and it kind of functions. That's basically it. Honestly, I need to take a break from it.
Okay.
I've been staring at it to the bottom.
And also a student here with Atlas. Game development wise, I kind of feel more of an outsider. I don't really play a lot of games. I'm very casual. So it's kind of, I decided I want to, if I was already starting school kind of as a beginner, very like intermediate to what I'm going for, I thought I might as well go for game development. It's also a different front for me. It's also something I think better to visualize. Learn to code much easier with something that's more objective than trying to do things with. To just make me less miserable as I learn. So basically, I kind of want to go with games just to better understand how everything is. Enjoy this. I'm currently trying to work on flame detection. So take your phone, scan over surface. In this case, I'm horizontal as it's supposed to be. Able to work with ground to have targets go through with the camera, and that's just been kind of a whole breaking it up into chunks as I go along just makes it easier because you obviously can't have just no working flame detector and then all of a sudden all the UI kind of working and then targeting. I just want to make sure I have that going for, then I add ammo, things like that.
Glenn, I'm working with Godot. I got into game development a very long time ago. I was working with an engine called Stencil, and I hated it. It was Scratch, and there was really no way around it unless you wanted to run hacks, which is a terrible language. So then I found Godot, switched to that, ported everything over pretty easily, and then basically I didn't have enough experience to make the game I really wanted to make, so now I'm working on this other one, learning as I go. Or as I sort of mentioned earlier, it's a hybrid management slash stealth slash dating game. Trust me, it'll work. I'm making it. I was at the Games Fest. I got a lot of feedback there. I think I fixed all but one bug that people came across. So we'll spend a lot of time to that. That was a month ago. Hopefully I'd like to have an actual public demo by the next one in March at War Guts. So hopefully that'll be going well. Very cool. Video games.
So we have like 15 minutes to finish this. If you guys want to like break off and you're like, oh, I want to talk to this person, talk to that person, like now is the time. I'm gonna kill the live thing. And then chat. I know you're doing the video. Did you want to show up here soon? Or are you like, no?
I can, well, I'm recording it whenever you want to. I have everything set up. The sound is not an issue. I can edit that out.
Yeah.
And my microphone's pretty good, so.
Everyone is going to stare at this video.